first of all, we are going to open a new level with third-person template and name it and hit create. So here we are in the third-person template. First of all, we are going to download animation starter pack from the Epic Marketplace. And now let's add to your level. So here we have anim starter pack, and in it here is all the animation. So we going to select the animation we want. We search for idle hip and right click and then retarget animation asset. Then duplicate and retarget animation asset. So now we are going to choose an asset, so we can select UE5 many. So we are going to create a new folder and name it shotgun animation. Then we'll drag the animation into this folder. If we need another animation, we'll search for jog, right click and retarget the animation asset. We'll need another animation, so we'll select the short animation and repeat the process, dragging it into the shotgun animation folder. Next, to use this animation for our character, we'll create a blend space. We'll right click in the content browser, navigate to the animation and select blend space 1D. Then we'll name it shotgun blend space. After opening it, we'll go to the access setting and name it walk speed, setting the max speed to the 500. This aligns with the max speed of the character in the third-person blueprint. Then we'll search for the idle animation and drag it to the left side of the blend space. Similarly, we'll search for the jog animation and drag it to the right side. Holding Ctrl while moving through the timeline from the idle animation to the jog animation will show the jog animation playing. Now return to the shotgun animation folder and create an animation blueprint. Select sk_many as the skeleton and name it ABP_shotgun. Double click to open it and you'll see a normal graph from the asset browser. Search for the shotgun blend space and drag it to the graph so we can connect it directly. To incorporate the short animation, we'll create an animation montage. First, we'll add a specific shot by searching for default and adding it to the output pose. Then we'll compile and you'll see the animation. Next, we'll change the speed to 500 and compile again. Now you will see that it is playing the jog animation. Now, right click on the walk speed and make it a variable. Next, go to the event graph and enter the node event blueprint initialize animation. This will initialize the animation when the game starts. Add a cast to the third-person character and right-click on the BP third-person to promote it to a variable. Name it character. Now, get the character and character movement. Then add velocity and vector length. Drag the walk speed variable and set it. Next, go to the third-person blueprint, open blueprint third-person character, and in the mesh, select ABP shotgun, hit compile, play, and now you can see our shotgun animation. Let's add a gun. Go to the Sketchfab and download any gun you like. For example, I'll use this one. Download both texture and the FBX file. Add this folder to your content browser and reset it to default. Change the setting as you like and then hit import all. Now we have our shotgun imported. Now let's apply the texture to the gun. Drag the base color to the base color, metallic to the metallic, normal to the normal, roughness to the roughness, and ambient occlusion to the ambient occlusion. Now you can see the texture is applied. Now we are going to place the gun in the character's hand. Go to the third person blueprint, then to BP third person character, add a static mesh and name it shotgun. Search for the shotgun and add it. The gun may be too big, so scale it down to 0.1 and drag it to adjust it accordingly. Hit compile and play. Now you can see the character holding the gun, but it's not following the character. So what we will do next is to create a new socket for the gun. Navigate to the content folder, then mannequin, character, meshes and sk_many. Look for the hand_right bone, right click on it and create a socket, name it right hand_socket. To attach the gun to the socket, right click on the socket and select add preview asset. Search for the gun and add it. Scale down the gun if necessary. To ensure proper positioning, preview the animation, search for the idle_hip animation. Pause it and adjust the gun's position accordingly. Now go back to the third person character blueprint, reset the position, rotation and scale of the gun in the right hand_socket. Compile and play. You should see that the gun now follows the character's hand more accurately. Next, let's create a shooting functionality. Create a new folder named Blueprints, right click and select Blueprint class, choose Actor and name it BP_bullet. Open the blueprint and add a sphere component, name it Bullet. Now add a projectile movement component and set the initial speed to 3000 and max speed to 3500. Compile the blueprint. Now go back to the third person character blueprint. In the event graph, we will create the logic to spawn the bullet when the player shoots. We will need to add a new input to our character. Navigate to the Add Mapping context and double-click to open it. Here you will find actions like jump, move and look. So we will add a new input action for shooting. Right-click in the input section and select Add Input Action. Name it IA Shot. Click on the plus icon and set left mouse button to trigger the action. Save your changes. Now return to the third person character blueprint, add IA shot input action. Next, let's set up the logic to spawn the bullet when the player shoots. Add a spawn actor node and search for BP_bullet as the class to spawn. In the viewport, add an arrow component and position it with the gun. Name it Bullet Spawn. In the event graph, drag the Bullet Spawn node and add Get World Transform. Split the spawn transform and connect the location to location, rotation to rotation and scale to 0.1. gameplay, you should now see the bullet spawning when you shoot.